Welcome to CUE School number 2. It's great to have you with us. Maria will give me a thumbs up if the audio is working. Fantastic. And great to have you with us. So lot has happened since the first time. And a lot of people aren't here in the live audience, which is okay. That either means they're going to be watching live stream, or it means that this is the normal attrition of entrepreneurs, and that's okay. The entrepreneurs are amazing, and they are warriors, and it takes grit, and you're all here. And so I get it. Some people are going to watch the live stream, not a problem. So we are going to jump in today with some very cool things. In fact, let me start out by saying, how many of you have seen the movie Air about the Nike story? You've seen it. All right. A few of you. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. It's about the Michael Jordan, Nike. How do you acquire Michael Jordan? Very interesting. Some people told me to watch it, and I watched it, and it was very interesting. Do you know that that whole movie is based on the manifesto? Did you know that? The whole movie is based on the Nike manifesto. We're going to teach you today how to write your own manifesto. And this is going to be very interactive, very engaging, we're going to bring people from the crowd up today, and we're going to talk about it. And I'm just excited to be here. So why don't I lead us in prayer, and we'll get started. And we have a great audience watching online as well. Let's jump in and pray. God, thanks for our time today. Thanks for Cedarville University, all that you're doing here. We thank you for each entrepreneur, each person here who's learning and growing. We pray for those that are going to be watching on live stream as well. And we thank you that they could join us. And we pray that we could achieve some real clarity today. We pray this all in Jesus' name. Amen. Awesome. So I'm going to also put that up here. And I would love for people to post where they're from. We have about 16 jumping on right now. More are going to be coming on, but we'll say hi to them here in a moment. But folks, we are going to talk today about the manifesto. But first, if you have lesson 1, spoke about proposition statement. Remember that? Value proposition statement. I'll show it on the screen in case you don't have it. No, but let's go to lesson number 1, and you can kind of see here a little bit about what we talked about. I just want to do a minute of review so you can see what I'm talking about, and then we'll jump in. So I'm going to hit present, share screen, go to window, here we go. All right. So on StreamYard, can they all see it? They can all see it on StreamYard? Awesome. Okay, so folks, we talked about your value proposition statement the very first week. I am blank who helps blank do or understand blank so that blank. Did anybody do that exercise either the first day or over the last few weeks? Anybody do that? Does anybody know their value? Yeah, you did. Patty, perfect. So you are in the horse equine coaching business, and how did doing that help you out? Did that help you out with clarity? Okay, fantastic. Kim in the back, did you do that? Perfect, perfect. Okay, so listen, don't be afraid. I'm going to interview a few of you because this will help with learning. So, Kim, if you don't mind coming up, come on up, come on up. And Addie, you might be next. And I'll tell you why I'm doing this, because we can talk all the theory in the world, but there's some people in the room. Is Cooper in the room yet? Cooper. Oh my gosh, we got an exciting interview today. But good to see you, Kim. Hey, so you were on the podcast recently, and why don't you come over here so he can get you. But you have a side business that you just started, like brand spanking new. How has it been fun?
Yeah, it's been so exhilarating and so exciting with a touch of, being terrified.
Being terrified. And your clarity has already attracted some independent contractors.
Yeah.
Do you think that the value proposition statement is helping?
Absolutely. And I actually talked to the people that I've hired
Yeah,
for the team, and it helps them too as the
interesting.
employees.
Yeah,
So I think, and even yesterday I had to speak, and I changed the way I did my presentation, starting with a statement like this. So I think
ah,
it's going to change
yeah.
how I present too.
And people came to her in the beginning and they tried convincing you to use, nothing against them if they're watching, but they tried to convince you to use a name and branding that really wasn't you. Is this true?
Correct. Yes.
But now you have clarity.
Yes.
I love it.
And I saw the homepage. The homepage is finished. We're just working on the secondary pages. And when I saw the homepage, I kind of gasped. I was so excited.
Yeah.
Like, this is it.
And your big breakthrough moment last class was the about page.
Yes.
Talk to us about that for people who are just jumping
how
in.
important the about page was. And I was like, I don't really want to talk about myself. I just kind of give a little bit. I only have like a paragraph. I changed it completely and telling a little bit of the story,
Yeah.
kind of being a little bit more vulnerable, putting more pictures, really about how I got to this point and helping them to understand the big picture of the company.
I love it.
So
Good job. Good job. Let's give her a hand.
thank you so
Yes.
much.
Oh yeah. Thank you. So what do we call that again? Do you remember? It's yes, it's the story, but what do we call it? Starts with an O. It's comic book character often. Does anyone know this? It's the origin story. So your about page is your origin story. And people really want to know about this. They really want to know, like, even the most basic products, they know about these things. All right? So let's jump in now on the next page. This would be page 4, where we talked about the struggler, the Sherpa, and the sage. Remember how important that is? You will appeal to people that hear about your struggles. By the way, all books are written with these 3 types of voices. So this is called your persona. And your business has a persona too. Do you think Nike presents themselves as strugglers? Do you think the brand presents themselves as strugglers? Do they present it as Sherpa? Or do they present themselves as sage? What do you think? Let's vote. Let's vote with hands. How many of you say Nike presents themselves as a brand as struggler? How about Sherpa? How about sage? Yes. So the Nike commercials may talk about LeBron struggling in the beginning and this type of thing. But yes, they are selling the elite athlete. They are selling the sage mentality. You have to know who you're selling to. Otherwise, you're going to create brand confusion. So we have Addie here who's offering equine coaching, and she's in our marketing class. And so we're seeing every week how awesome that is, the transition, the transformation. But how are you presenting yourself, as sage, Sherpa, or struggler? Between Sherpa and sage. Now, do you tell your story of how you used to struggle? Interesting. So why do we talk about our struggle as a brand? How is that going to help out our brand? What do you think? Yes.
Yes, the people that are struggling have the same struggles you used to have. They can have hope if they follow your process that they can be successful.
I love it. They can see themselves in your process. Here's the only way you get in trouble. If you are a sage and you present yourself as a struggler online, why will you get in trouble? If everybody knows you're a sage and yet you present yourself online as a struggler, what do you think? Okay. Yes. And I think I might have given the analogy, maybe I didn't, I forget, but it was in 1992, the presidential debate between Bush and Clinton, and someone in the audience stood up in the town hall meeting and asked about the economy. And Bush basically gave her advice as the current president and said he understood how hard it was. And she's like, no, you don't. You don't understand. And so there was a disconnect there. And that was a lot of times what political commentators felt like that was the downfall of that re-election campaign, okay? How can you get in trouble if you're really a struggler, but you present yourself as a sage online? Why is that a negative? What do you think? You're really a struggler, but you present this, I'm a sage. Jay, what do you think? You could get called out. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff going around where people are standing in front of Lamborghinis that aren't even theirs, and they're like, yeah, you know, I'm all that. Look at my success. And they really find out that they're not successful. Okay? And I drive a minivan, I'm just telling you, okay? All right. So identify the pain point. We talked about what problem are you solving? Are you selling vitamins or aspirins? How do you know you served your client well? What will they have? Are you selling confidence? Addie, I'm just picking on you because I know your brand. What are you selling? You're selling confidence with your horse riding. Love it. We talked about where does your audience live? What education do they have? Remember that little secret I told you about how to look online with magazines? Remember that? Every magazine has a sponsorship. So we'll go sponsorship Forbes magazine. Forbes sponsorship magazine. You know, it's like advertisement, right? Let's call it here. Magazines spend a lot of money mapping out their media kit. So online, you folks can't see this necessarily. This piece of information, this is really good. So horses have magazines, look at podcasts. Anytime anyone's selling advertisement, go and look up their media kits, and you will find hundreds of thousands of dollars of research that they have done about their ideal client. So I'm going to show this to the people who are on StreamYard so they can see, and we'll all look at this. This is pretty cool. This is a really cool marketing gift that if we click learn more, we can find all about who reads Forbes, their education level, what they are like, their ages, the events that they might attend. It talks about so many things, all right? Their distribution. And so when you say, ooh, my clients read Entrepreneur Magazine, my clients read Hot Rod Magazine, I don't even know if that's a thing, but whatever they listen to or read, anytime you have to sell advertisement, they've done data on people, okay? So check that out in the future. That's a little trick where you can get a lot of good help. All right, so let's go to CUE School 1. We're almost done, and then we'll get into new content today. I'm going to find where we are. Thanks for your patience. All right. Then we got into Meet Your Avatar. And then we had that customer interview. Folks, this is so good. If you can do a customer interview and ask somebody to trade these questions with you, you know, so if Cooper's selling gloves, which you are, cross-country gloves, and your buddy Aaron is selling hats, you guys make a great team. But if you co-interviewed each other and said, hey, how do I know the consequences for my problem? And if you got really clear on the future customer interview, you'd have a lot of light bulbs turn on, okay? All right, so today we're gonna get into lesson number 2. And as promised, we're talking about manifestos. So what is a manifesto? Does anybody know? Take a guess. What do you think? Why am I saying we're going to take a whole session on a manifesto? Why would I talk about that? What do you think? By the way, this manifesto is Nike's. Who was the founder of Nike? Does anyone remember? What was his name? Anybody remember? Come on, some of you remember. Phil Knight? Remember that? Phil Knight. So Phil Knight came up with the manifesto. Imagine breaking down a multi-billion-dollar company into 10 statements. 10 statements. Oh yeah, Nathan Pascarella, welcome. We got people watching from all over Louisiana, Xenia, Ohio, Dallas, Texas, New Jersey, Florida, Indiana, New Hampshire. Go ahead, tell us where you're from. What a cool crowd. All right. So here it is, the Nike manifesto. Could you identify your entire brand into simple statements? What do you think? Yeah? They took this movie and they basically would show our businesses change, and then they would have a whole scene, and then they would bring up we're on the offense all the time, and then they would have a whole scene. The reason why I want you to write your manifesto, here's the big strategy, folks. Check this out. What is the second largest search engine in the world? Amazon. Yes. By the way, if you're not in my, if you're not signed up for my classes, why not? Okay. So next semester, we're doing creative problem solving. We're doing content creation, and we're doing Entrepreneur Accelerator. I'm told Addie said that we have one spot left in Entrepreneur Accelerator, so we better increase those numbers. I don't even know what our numbers are, but we can increase it. I'm fine increase. Yeah, we're going to increase it. Creative problem solving, required class for business students. Love to have you in it. Super fun class. And then creating content digital marketing, where I'm going to literally teach you how you need to create different types of contents for different platforms. We're going to look at LinkedIn today and talk about how to get a lot of traffic from LinkedIn. All right, so I'd love for you to sign up quickly. They're filling up. Love to have you. So, a manifesto. Has anyone heard of Joanna Gaines? Yeah, I see some people in the background. What's that company called? Magnolia. My wife likes Magnolia. Do you know that there's a Magnolia manifesto? Did you know this? Some of you knew this? Here's the Magnolia manifesto, and we believe in human kindness. What was Martin Luther King Jr.'s manifesto? Unofficially. What do you think? I have a dream. What was Jesus's manifesto? Unofficially. What do you think? I know that's probably debatable. What do you think might be his? Repent, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Yes. What passage of scripture? I'll give you a hint of what I think it is. Matthew 5, 6, 7. What is it? The Beatitudes, the Sermon on the Mount. I don't know if that was Jesus' manifesto. Maybe it was love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. But we know that when he came, he said, you've heard it said, but I say to you. And he talked about blessed are. So we kind of think of the Sermon on the Mount as Jesus' manifesto. Martin Luther King Jr., I have a dream speech. Magnolia, we believe in human kindness. I'm going to share my company's manifesto. I just went through this recently, and I'm gonna basically show you, not that one. I wrote that one at one time. I'm going to show you what I think my company's new manifesto is, and I'll bring that up to you. Here it is. So we'll get this for you. Hang on one second. This brought a ton of clarity for me. I've written a lot of manifestos. There we are. Okay. I'm going to show you this here. So here's one of my company's current manifesto. We are the world's first and only. That's pretty bold. There's some people who are going to say, sit down. Wait, where is that biblical? Wait, you sound pretty arrogant. I don't know. David says, look, nobody's stepping up for Goliath. What's up with that? I'll step up, right? I think you need a little bit of confidence. I think arrogance is look at me for how great I am. I think confidence is look at what we can deliver. Look how we can serve you. Look how we can solve your problem. I think you need to be bold and clear. So I don't want to see any weak manifestos, all right, Sam? You know, Sam's got a break-free clothing line. He won the pitch. He was a winner. And, I mean, he was bold. You remember that? Some of you were there. What did they talk about at the pitch? Remember what Sam's clothing line? What did they talk about? Overcoming addictions. That you got to be pretty bold. If you're going to take that on, I mean, that's a pretty big thing. In fact, let's give Sam a hand. Come on up here, Sam. Come on up. Yeah. I didn't even get to my manifesto. I got so excited with it when I saw Sam. So Sam did a really cool. Do you have your new one?
I don't.
Not yet. So this guy came to my office recently. He's in the digital marketing class, and you and I started looking at what would be a good marketing campaign, right? And you're taking on a multi maybe $billion company, and you're going to attack them. Did you hear that? That's pretty big stuff. So what's the company that you want to take down?
Yeah, so, I mean, right, the goal is the whole porn industry, but right now, it's the main target's Playboy, because it's easy to design, mock them through design.
Yeah. So you created a new T-shirt. Instead of the bunny, what's your T-shirt?
So we have a wolf, and that basically symbolizes eating the bunny.
So here's his shirt. We're going to go here in a second. It's called the Anti-Playboy, and it's a fox who ate the bunny. That's pretty bold. And he's got a campaign called hashtag Eat the Bunny. Hashtag Eat the Bunny. And here's his clothing line. And we looked at how. By the way, write this down. There's 3 ways to get marketing. 3 ways to get attention. Some of you in my marketing class, you know this. What about platforms? How do you get attention? Buy, borrow, or build. So if you want attention for your product, you can pay money. That's called buying ads. We're going to learn about Cooper and how he literally didn't spend a dime, but made 8 sales today. Pretty exciting. Did you get any more? 8. All right. 8's pretty good. What's the other way? Borrow. What do you think borrowing someone's platform is? What do you think that is? Yes. Piggybacking off what they're doing. You think being on somebody else's podcast is borrowing their platform? Yeah. So when you collaborate with somebody else, when you go on their show, when you get an article on their platform. So just yesterday, we got an article in Forbes magazine. That's huge because that helps us borrow their platform, okay? And then the last one is build, and that takes time. So buy platform takes, what do you think? Money. Build takes time, and borrow takes creativity. One of the creative things that you can do is something called news jacking. This is a thing. You can really Google this. So you're going to news jack a story that's going on right now? What's the story that's going on right now that's hot in media that he can newsjack for free?
Yeah, so earlier this week, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, came out saying that he and his son both use the app Competence, which basically helps people keep each other accountable by monitoring their internet access. So, but he's getting a lot of heat for it. People are making fun of him. So, my plan is tomorrow, me and some of my friends who are going to help out. We're going to interview people in Columbus and ask them what their thoughts are, and use that for content and advertising.
Nice. So they're going to basically say, is the Speaker of the House admitting he uses Covenant? Do you have more respect for him or less respect for him? And that's going to be their content. Is that interesting? And then he's going to use hashtag Eat the Bunny. And what's it all going back to? It's on the screen. We'll show the StreamYard people. What's it going back to, everybody? What do you think? His t-shirts. And do you just care about t-shirts? What's behind the t-shirts?
Really a movement against pornography.
Yeah. Let's give him a hand. Yeah. And if we all want to support you, that's at breakfreeapparel.co. breakfreeapparel.co. And I encourage you to contact Covenant Eyes so you can stand on their platform as well. Awesome. What's that? You did that. Look at that's so good. That's why I like you all. You're action takers. All right. So let's go back to our homework for today. All right. So that was all free. All right. All that stuff was just free today. It's all free today. But let's go to curriculum number 2. And Cooper, remind me, can you stay the full time today? Okay. Because we're going to get to Cooper in a second. But let's go to session number 2 and welcome those of you who just came. Man, I'm so excited about all of you. We got people who just came in the room. One of you's hired by a professor to market their business. Congratulations. They just got a job to market a side business. Super exciting. All kinds of good stuff. So here's our manifesto, and you can read that later. That's really not the point of today, but this helped my team. This helped my team because, just like Kim, we did a website redesign, and our website redesign has to take, look at this, we're using it all. So we're using our manifesto for our website copy. So we have Katie in the room. We're going to talk to her in a moment. She's an alum, and she actually is part of missions organization. And she met with me earlier last week, and I said, write a manifesto, and we'll interview her in a moment. But writing a manifesto will give you massive clarity. And fill in the blank. Clarity attracts, confusion repels. Awesome. So it's very important. All right. What is the purpose of a manifesto? Write down your answer. This is in your, if you just walked in, we can raise your hand if you need a handout. We'll get you one. This is page 6. What is a manifesto? Online, StreamYard. I'm going to ask you, Scott's saying, is there a link where you can download? You're on it. She's on it. We got Maria on it. Scott, thanks for asking. We do have the handouts. Karen says, have the people come up and speak into the microphone. We are with you, Karen. We will do that. Thanks for sharing this, everybody. And big thanks to Cedarville for doing this. So here's the link, folks, if you're online. CUE School 2. This is, by the way, this is a editable download. And so you do not want to open this up in your browser, take the best notes in the world, and then when you shut your computer, you lose it all. You want to download it to your desktop, then reopen it, and then type in everything, okay? Awesome. All right, let's ask the crowd here. What do you think a manifesto is? Or why have a manifesto? What do you think? Anybody? Yes. I love it. It's a statement of what you do and why you do it. Who wrote the book Start With Why? Simon Sinek, yes. So Simon Sinek did a TED Talk. By the way, the quality was horrible. The quality, like literally the audio and the video was horrible, just proves a point that it's the content is king. But man, that thing's been watched millions and millions of times. And Simon Sinek then wrote a book, Start With Why. And is that clear, by the way? Is Start With Why clear? Is that clear messaging? What do you think? Start with why? Yeah. I just read today how much that dude makes per talk. Does anyone want to feel really depressed? Do you want to know? $150K a talk. $150K a talk. There you go. So get really clear. Give a TED Talk that has bad audio and video, and you might make $150K a talk. All right? All right, let's keep rolling. What's the process of writing a manifesto? Should a manifesto be 52 pages long? Oh, so what should a manifesto be? Clear, concise. And what do I say in the marketing class? CCD. What do we got? Clear, concise, and direct. Clear, concise, direct. CCD, not OCD. We don't mind OCD. That's fine. Obsessive compulsive. That's fine. I'm talking CCD, clear, concise, and direct. Make your manifesto clear, concise, and direct. In fact, I'm kind of a nerd for looking at bottles or packages of chips or something. I love to see the manifesto on products. I grew up before the internet. We couldn't look at smartphones when we ate. We looked at cereal boxes. Some of us adults in the room here, right? We read this. That was what we read. We read the cereal boxes. You guys read your tablets. So I would like to read on the packages their story. And I like to read this. And a lot of times in packaging, small, unique brands, they tell the story. Jimmy Bob and Susie Bob, they grew up in a farm and they created this little chip with small batches and blah, blah, blah. And it tells the story and their manifesto. And I kind of like that stuff. All right. Okay. So yes, if you write a manifesto, you will attract people, but you will also repel people. Interesting. Let's talk about that. Who do you want to repel? People who what? Yes. Did Jesus repel certain people? What do you think? Is it bad for a brand or a business to repel people? What do you think? No, I think it's a good thing. Does Cedarville repel certain people? Yeah. Is that a good thing? Some of you are shaking your head, right? Like, you got to have clarity. You got to stand for something. And that's important. So let's bring Katie up. And Katie, bring your manifesto. And Katie, I actually printed it. I got it here. But first of all, tell us about this exercise, because we're going to do this in a moment, all of us. Mm-hmm. But why in the world, put it this way, tell us about this experience for you.
Yeah, so I feel like in the small business world, the language is manifesto, right? It's your why, it's what you do and why you do it and how you do it. And then I feel like in our line of work, it's the mission, vision, and core values.
Okay.
That's how it broke down.
When did you attend Cedarville?
I graduated in December of 18.
18. Does anyone remember that? Yeah, some of you? So who was around in 18? We got some people. So they were around, and 2018, where do you work now?
Work for Pioneer Bible Translators. I'm a recruiter and an event coordinator.
So you reached out to me because you're like, I don't have any business connections with the students and I don't even know how you found me or whatever, but
Connection.
a connection.
Networking.
I answered your email.
Yeah.
So we're gonna look at your manifest. First of all, how was this experience for you?
I feel like it was pretty simple, largely because we are constantly reviewing it as a
Interesting.
team, as an organization. Our purpose statements and our values are very much at the forefront of everything we do.
Okay. So why don't you read it to us?
Okay. Our purpose is to disciple the Bibleless, mobilizing God's people to provide enduring access to God's word. One day, that's the vision, we will see transformed lives through God's word in every language. In order to accomplish this goal, that's the how, and bridge the gap between the church and the Bibleless peoples around the world, we hold to 8 core values. This is our manifesto. 1, we believe in prayer as our primary strategy. 2, we believe that God uses the church as his instrument to accomplish his mission, that all peoples would glorify and worship him. 3, we believe in pioneering among the least reached Bibleless language groups, planting a network of reproducing churches adapted to the context. 4, we believe that enduring access to God's word is essential for life transformation, discipleship, and growing the church. 5, we believe in obeying Christ's commission by teaching people to follow Jesus and by living out the values of his kingdom. 6, we believe in partnering with like-minded people to accomplish mutual goals. 7, we believe in living incarnationally with the local people, learning from deep relationships and communicating in the most effective language. And 8, we believe in equipping those we send, their families, and local teammates for healthy and effective ministry.
All right. Let's give her a hand. Stay here.
Stay. All right.
All right. So what are you going to do with this manifesto?
And I think what's great about it is that it's very practical. It's very much a guiding light. So every decision we make, every strategy that we have, even my decision to reach out to you was filtered through this.
Yeah. So it's a filter. Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So your manifesto is a filter. Interesting. Are there things that are outside these 8 that you should say no to? What if someone comes to you and says, hey, we want to create something that's totally off
Right.
brand?
Yeah. Then yeah.
You
And
should say no.
that's where discernment comes in. And anytime we even come to an event or speaking engagement, God give us the next right missionaries. We're not just
Yeah.
looking for warm bodies. We want the right people.
What's your website?
Pioneerbible.org.
Pioneerbible.org. So if anybody's in the room or watching that is interested in Bible translation,
Mm-hmm. And church planting and discipleship,
they should come talk to you.
they sure should.
All right. So folks, you all know that now, right?
Yeah.
Thanks for
Absolutely. Yeah,
coming.
thank
All
you.
right. All right. Love it. We got to make it practical. So I know Eve's Original Sin Cookies is in the room. Do you have a manifesto yet? You're working on it. She's got values. I'm just repeating so that people can hear. So you have values, but you don't have a manifesto yet. Okay. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually give you a gift. I'm going to give you 6 minutes to take a shot at writing down a manifesto, even if it's bullet point. Folks, I know that Phil Knight did not spend a lot of time on his manifesto. I know it. And so what I'm going to say is I want you to start, even if it's just bullet points. I gave you some space, and I'm going to give people online 8 minutes, 6 minutes. By the way, Katie, wow, you have a whole crowd here. Look at this. Thanks, Katie. Thank you, Katie. You're getting a lot of people weighing in online. So great stuff. Let's put her website, Maria, in the chat, okay? The website, Pioneer Bible. That's it. .org. Pioneerbible.org. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to give you 6 minutes, and do not waste this time. This is a gift. Okay. So write down, here's what I believe, and take a few moments to do that. All right. Awesome. Go for it. I'll put on a little bit of music for you. All right, can we got sound? Test 1, 2, 3. Got sound? Excellent. All right. Let me know, by the way, crowd, if you can hear us. That'd be great. So we have someone who did this. Awesome job. So Addie, come on. So did you even know we were going to do this? You just did it. I don't even know.
So that I could edit.
I love it. So your business is called the Achievers. How do you say that? Equine?
Yes, Achievers Equine Academy.
And your tagline, by the way, tagline is very important. Become the writer of your dreams. What's Nike's tagline? Just do it. Yeah. So I'm really a big fan of having a business name and a product name, but also a tagline. So become the writer of your dreams. And talk to us. When did you do this? What do you think?
I've been working on it a little bit throughout the week, but I just finished it up this morning.
This morning. Okay. What did this do for you?
It also helped me clarify like my audience and exactly how I'm reaching them, and what exactly I'm offering.
Did you ever have a paying client yet?
Not through the virtual.
Okay, so you've only done physical
Yes, in
clients
person.
so far,
Mhm.
but you're moving to be virtual.
Yeah.
But you haven't offered it
No,
yet.
I haven't
So you're
launched
getting ready.
anything
Okay.
yet.
And now that it's virtual, talk to us about your manifesto.
Yes. So the first says no more limited access. You can continue your journey from wherever you are. If you're in a remote area or you don't have a trailer that you can trailer your horse in, you can just keep riding and continuing wherever you are. The next is no more fear of failure. I know with equestrians, we can tend to have a lot of fear of like, are we good enough for our horse? Is our horse able to do this? And so you don't have to be fearful. You can have a professional that's there to guide you through every step. And then no more months of feeling stuck. This goes back to me personally and a lot of my friends who felt stuck in their journey because they couldn't afford to have a trainer or they couldn't take their horse to a trainer. Just again, back to the limited access. So I just said, receive the encouragement and professional advice you need to keep you straight down center line, which is a phrase that most of my clients would know. It's a dressage phrase.
Love it. Awesome. Are you going to post this somewhere?
Yeah, I'm hoping to have my website up in the next month.
Yeah. Don't you feel her excitement? That's cool. Is this scary? Is this whole thing
Yes,
scary?
it's terrifying.
Why is it scary? Because I agree, but why is it scary?
Just putting myself out there, being confident in what I can offer. And I'm not super techie, so all of that is also a little bit of some apprehension there.
Yeah. All right, let's give her a hand. Yeah. Thank you. That is awesome. Love it. Okay, so now we're going to talk about syncing your social media here in a moment. But how many of you also found a little bit of clarity, even with your little bullet points? Anybody? Anybody come up with a bullet point? Anybody? Was that helpful for anybody? Yeah? Jay, you got a little bit more clarity? By the way, let's give Jay a hand. Jay, come on, Jay. Come on, Jay. Jay is a professor here who went to the hackathon. The hackathon was an incredible event last week, 2 weeks ago, at the International Center for Creativity. Your team won first prize. How cool was that?
It's really fun, yeah.
Yeah? So what did this manifesto thing do for you?
This recent one, it helped me to focus a little bit more, and maybe even the opposite of focus, kind of visualize a bigger picture.
Bigger picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
talk to us one thing you took away from the hackathon, because you originally emailed me and said, should I just be a helper?
Right.
And I said, no, man, jump in. You should be a participant. What did you learn from this whole weekend?
Well, it was pretty intense. So I learned a lot about, defining a problem, doing a pivot. If you're going in a direction that isn't great, doing a pivot, how to tell a story through
Yeah.
your presentation,
Yeah.
Working with a team.
You went out and interviewed real people.
We did. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. It was good.
Awesome. All right, folks. We want to let you know that there's going to be another hackathon next semester, Lord willing. So next time you hear about it, they should do it, you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, learn a lot. Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, so let's jump in now and let's talk about our next part of the homework today. And that is confidence. Interesting. All right, does anyone have a dry erase marker handy? I know some of you might have one in your bag. You got one? Up here? It's a real thin one. So I'm looking for a bigger one. We got one? Look at this guy. Is this Kyle? Hey, Kyle. Thank you so much. All right, so here's something from one of my books. I call it the Deeper Path book, but I call this the Deeper Path Payoff. And some of you from my class the other day, you saw this. But the whole reason why I think, well, let me ask you this. How do businesses survive? What's the one thing they need? Otherwise, they'll go out of business. Yes. Money. So income is what businesses need to survive, right? How many times do you think entrepreneurs focus on that as their goal? What do you think? A lot of people? That's actually the wrong goal. So this is actually a result. That's a result. I think 5 things need to happen first. All right? And I'm going to show you this. These 5 things need to happen, and your manifesto, and we're going to talk about your social here in a moment, it all leads to this. Before you get income, I think the very first thing you need is clarity. I'm a big fan of clarity. There's a statement in sales, if you confuse them, you lose them. When you get really complex about what your offer is, what your solution is, people are like, what? I don't even get it. Clarity leads to competence. So Addie just got really clear with her manifesto, and as a result, she now knows what she's offering. Is this true? I mean, you know what you're offering. Prior to doing this work, were you kind of unsure? She wasn't sure. And when people would go up to her and be like, you look like a nice young lady. I heard you used to struggle with horse riding. They might be drawn to what you can do, but if your offer wasn't clear, they're not going to hire you, right? So clarity, competence, confidence. You agree? If I have clarity and I know then what I'm good at, and now I know that I'm good, guess what you begin to earn? You get people not to pay money, but before people pay income, what do they need to do? They need to pay what? We live in right now, it's called the blank economy. It starts with an A. I heard it. I think I heard it. Attention. If you have clarity, competence, and confidence, you start getting attention. And people, you then earn influence. So I earn influence where people say, oh, I'm going to pay attention to you. And then you begin to impact them. Then you get income. You agree with this? Clarity, competence, confidence leads to influence impact, and income. And I call this the deeper path payoff. What do you think? You agree with this? Disagree with it? What do you think? So Kim's shaking her head yes. And Kim, if you lead people into, hey, I'm really clear, and hey, I know I can help you, and hey, I know I can help you, and then people lean in. If you're in my marketing class, you know a little bit of an edgy statement. Let me tell it to you. You know where I'm going. It's easier to kiss when what? When someone's leaning in. I know that's a little, what? It's easier. Have you ever tried to kiss when someone's not leaning in? You'll get arrested, right? So the point is that in sales and marketing, you want them to lean in. And they lean in when you have clarity, competence, and confidence. Then they lean in and you begin to earn influence. I'm going to listen to that person. If they start listening to you and pay attention, then you can impact them. And when you begin to impact them, then they want to buy. Make sense? So don't focus on the income, focus on the clarity. And another one of my favorite statements is, don't sell, serve. So this is from that Show Up, Filled Up book, right? We're teaching through that book in my digital marketing class. But selling is serving. And storytelling is marketing. So I meet people all the time who say, I am horrible at sales and marketing. And I say, can you serve and can you tell stories? And if you can serve and tell stories, you can be good at sales and marketing. Is this true? Look at Jesus. Jesus was like the ultimate servant and the ultimate storyteller. And isn't it interesting that we call this conversions, and yet it's a sales term? In the sales world, we call them conversions. How many conversions did you have? We borrow that from the biblical narrative. Make sense? All right, so this is the path. Now, let's go to your link. Let's go to your social media. I'm going to help you optimize that. And then we're going to end with a very cool Cooper story on how he made several $100s today. Several $100s today, legit. His phone started blowing up in class, and we're going to teach you what he did. How cool is that? That's called a hook. I just hooked you. All right? So I'm going to show you LinkedIn, and I'm going to show you a really cool technique on how to start leveraging LinkedIn in a brand new way. All right. So with LinkedIn, right below your name, they give you this magic little line. And here's what I know most people do. By the way, no judgment. Oh, by the way, if you're from Cedarville, you should absolutely do this little thing called verification. The fact that you have a Cedarville, by the way, you can all do this. Most of the world cannot do this. The fact that you have a Cedarville domain name, website, email, you can now get verified for free on LinkedIn, which adds another layer of believability. So if you don't know how to do that, just type in LinkedIn verification. And all I did was I verified that I had a Cedarville email, and now I get a little shield, which in our world of fake news and fake identities is very important. Okay, so just automatically you do that. Secondly, most people I meet are not trying to be egocentric. They're not trying to be selfish. They're not trying to be, look at me, but they put as their byline lame stuff like junior at Cedarville. Come on now. Is anybody out there in the hiring people who That's their value proposition statement. I'm a junior at Cedarville. Nothing against Cedarville. I love Cedarville. We want your VPS. We want your value proposition statement. I have author friends who say 3-time best-selling author. Is anybody out there saying, you know, I got a problem and a best-selling author can solve it? I'm being a little bit silly here, but you get my point? Most people put what as the focus? What do you think? Themselves. Nothing, no judgment. You might not have been taught this, but I'm going to teach you why this little line right here is so important. Because this little line gets drawn in every time you make a post on LinkedIn. So I put mine as my value proposition statement. We publish and protect your IP and turn it into 18 streams of income. Now, when I go to somebody's LinkedIn post, like my friend Aaron Markham, who's one of my clients, I can say, there's his new book that we're publishing. I can hit like, and I can say, Aaron, I am so excited for your new book. What do you think is going to happen when I hit post? Boom. It draws in my exact byline. Does that make sense? Folks, if you spend 30 minutes a week posting on people's posts, commenting on people's posts with valuable, helpful, encouraging little lines, you could absolutely create interest if you choose the right header for your LinkedIn. Because people will automatically go to your header, and by the way, this is a header right here. So if people click that and they're like, who's this guy? What's the 18 streams? What's about that? They'll click it and they'll go right there and see. Now I just flip mine, but normally mine says, at Igniting Souls, we help publish, protect, and promote your intellectual property to turn 18 streams of income. My point is this: choose the right header. So Kim, Jay, right? Anybody else? Addie, choose the right header, use the right byline, and then post helpful, valuable comments on people's wall or posts that you are interested in. And when you begin to show up for the third week in a row, you create what? If you see somebody who has an interesting byline and like for the last few days they've been commenting, not spamming, helpful, encouraging comments, what does it create? Interest. I love it. Another word too, I love interest. Starts with a C. Curiosity. All those words, interest, curiosity. Now they're leaning in. Here's the ninja trick. Ready? Watch this. What did I tell the marketing students, by the way, who most of them have no recommendations? What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Remember the challenge I gave you all? What'd you do? I said, if you give me a recommendation, you'll get my attention, and then I'll turn around and give you a recommendation back. So again, all I'm teaching you is how to master one platform called LinkedIn. So Zach, Hunter, Isabella, Simon's in the room. Look at Simon, there he is. Sherry, Caden, all these people, I wrote clear, helpful endorsements for them because they got my attention and they wrote one for me. If you want to get in somebody's attention really quickly on LinkedIn, you write them a sincere recommendation. And you might say, I don't even know them, Kary. How can I do that? Have they written a blog post? Do they have a podcast? Have they created a product? Have you visited their website? If you've done any of those things, you can recommend them. And when you recommend somebody on LinkedIn, it goes into this weird little message where they have to interact. They have to either reject it or approve it. So it says, Kim, you have an endorsement, not a recommendation. Do you want it? Do you want to accept it? And so you naturally, we call this interruption marketing, Seth Godin calls it. Interruption marketing. You've interrupted somebody, but not in a bad way, in a giving way. Does that make sense? Yes, you got a question? Oh, there's William right there. There he is in the room. There's Jeff, Dr. Heyman. Look at that. That's great stuff. So any questions about LinkedIn, the banner, the byline, and the recommendation strategy? Anybody? Any questions? So Addie, what if you put founder of Equine Academy, and then you gave what that solution offers? What? ADD? Addie Melvin has passed the test. 95% passed the test. What could we do right now? What could we do? What's that? Verified is one thing. What else could we do? Put the banner. What would be a great banner shot for Addie? What do you think? Yes? Her riding a horse. So if she's going to teach you how to do it, there's a picture of her doing it. Maybe even her helping somebody, but her riding certainly. Love it. So you're going to get verified, and you're going to fix your banner. Love it. Cool? Good stuff? All right. We're going to close with a very cool... Any questions? Any questions on this stuff? Any questions? Will just got verified on LinkedIn. Right there. Just right there. How'd you do it? Put in your email from Cedarville with your code to that email, and you hit boom, and now you're verified. Let's look at Will here. Let's look at this, folks. This is pretty exciting. It can happen that quick. So let's go to Will. There he is. There he is. There he is. Verified. Boom. Look at that. Good job. And consulting creators to help grow their podcast and digital presence. Nothing against freshmen from Cedarville, but do you think people would be more apt to hire him that way? What do you think? And then if we scroll down and we look at some of the stuff he's doing, look at this. There's actually posts about his accomplishments helping other people. Awesome. All right, so let's bring Cooper up. Let's give Cooper a hand. Yeah. By the way, question from the crowd. If I have two professional careers and a side business when the two aren't completely related in different fields, should I have 2 pages, one for business, one career, or should I have it all together? Great question. Great question. You need to listen to Kim's podcast that I just did with her, because Kim has a day job and she has a side hustle. And by the way, most of the population does today. Even my employees. I don't mind that my employees have a side hustle because I'm an entrepreneurial company. And I say, look, if you're getting your stuff done, I think you're going to be more on fire and you're going to be more helpful. Okay, now I know not all employers think that way. That's why you want to make sure you have a brand match. But I would encourage this person to write. In fact, Dr. Heyman and I teach creative problem solving, and we gave an assignment recently about writing your aspirational resume. Not the resume that you have, but the resume you want to have. So I think you should put your LinkedIn as your true but aspirational LinkedIn. So if you're like, man, I hate my day job, you got to look in the mirror and say, okay, what should I do? And maybe you talk to your employer about optimizing your LinkedIn for where you want to be. Maybe it's broad enough where you can tackle both. Make sense? Okay. So you came to my office. We're going to show them the picture. We sat down and we drew a bunch of stuff on the wall that these people are going to learn next time. And it's not going to be that exciting. They'll probably be like, by the way, I am not good at math at all. Dr. Heyman in economics, man, he could blow me, he could do circles around me. But what is this? And how did this help you earn several $100s today?
So essentially what you see there is you see a funnel, which is on the left side. And that's basically what you described as getting your potential customers and bringing them into the point of sale.
So how many email subscribers did you get for free?
I got over 500.
Over 500 emails. This is nutso, okay? So if you talk to most people and say, how in the world did you get 500 emails for free without paying for ads? What did you ask the people to do?
So I got these emails from asking them to do a survey.
Okay. That's a great strategy, folks. A survey. Will a lot of people do surveys for free? Yeah, a lot of people do surveys for free. So you went on a certain app that is a brand match, and you asked these people to do a survey.
Yeah, so I'm selling running gloves, and so this app was made specifically for runners, and you can get into these groups with thousands of people, and it's like a forum style where you can ask questions, and that's where I was able to ask the survey, tell a little bit about my origin story, and get people involved, and they wanted to help by first doing the survey.
Yeah, and you didn't just say, hey, who wants to take a survey? You kind of told them the story.
Yeah, I just told them I was a college student. I'm an aspiring entrepreneur. Gave a little background about just who I was and what my goals were, and made it short, simple, clear, and a lot of people to get emotionally bought in.
Love it. So they did the survey. How did they give you their email?
So essentially, I used a Google form, and so I made it so they had to sign in with their email. And I asked them at the end, I say, would you be willing to receive updates as I continue through this entrepreneurial journey? And there was a yes, I would love to, and then no, I don't want to help out anymore. And so I was able to aggregate all those emails.
So then you get this, and then you turn around and say, will you buy my stuff? No, you didn't do that.
No.
What'd you do with that first email after?
So sent a total of 3 emails. The first one was just a thank you email. And I said, thank you so much for filling out this survey. It means so much, it means the world to me. But not only was it a thank you, I wanted to give them something, is what you talked about. So what I gave them were things that I have learned running. So I gave them my top 4 cold weather running tips. I mean, the guy literally took from the whiteboard and did exactly, I said 10, but you did 4. That's cool. So you did cold weather tips. Then you went to email number 2. What'd you do in email number 2? Email number 2, I basically was like, thank you guys for being part of my journey.
Mm-hmm.
I need to explain to you how I started off. And so I filmed a 1-minute video, just a quick background explaining who I was, and just wanted to give them and invite them into my journey.
And what was at the top of that email that you did at Cedarville University? What was the picture of?
Yeah, it was a picture of the pitch.
So
I told him about the
So
pitch.
he put a picture of the pitch. This is why you need to do the pitch. He did a picture of the pitch of him at Cedarville, at Chapel, standing on the stage in front of judges. And why did you put that picture?
I put that picture, it kind of builds credibility. It shows I'm serious about what I'm doing, and it also shows I've gotten feedback from judges, and I'm willing to speak
Love
on
it.
that.
And I saw your video. Was the lighting perfect? Was the sound perfect? Or were you in some crazy place?
No, it it was a pretty authentic video. There was some wind in the background, but you know, sometimes you just got to get your content out there and be your authentic self in that
So
sense.
this is where a lot of entrepreneurs make mistakes. They spend a lot of time and money making it perfect. And you were literally, wind was blowing, you could hear it on the sound, but you're sitting there passionate. And then people watch the video, and then what do you do with the third email?
So the third email, I wanted to give them something. And so what I did is I gave them a promo code.
A promo code. Interesting. For how much?
For 15%.
15% off, and you got to see this, folks. This is amazing. You sent this out around what time?
Around 11 a.m.
Today.
today. Yes.
So you sent out an email. Watch this. This is unbelievable. He came in my office. I got so excited. All right, he came in my office. You sent out an email through GoDaddy at 11:12.
Yep.
And then sale, 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 sale. And that's only one screenshot. And then the other screenshot is more sales. What were you thinking as you're sitting in class? Money, 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 money. What in the world?
I was just like, oh boy, this is this is real, you know? And so it was just really encouraging, and I'm super pumped.
Is that crazy or what? Is that cool? So here he goes from the pitch, and then you worked with Dr. Prigge
Yes.
in the Entrepreneur Accelerator.
The Entrepreneur Accelerator.
And you
yes.
got really clear. Then you protected your IP with Easy IP.
Yep.
Okay. So we gave you a free protection for any Cedarville student. I don't know how long I can do that, but at least with you and others. Then you did your master's degree.
Yeah, working on Masters of Innovation Entrepreneurship
at
here.
the ICC. And then you launch your product today, and this whole thing works.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So we're going to teach you all how to do the funnel next time. Let's talk, Dr. Heyman.
Can you tell us how you thought about timing in between these emails? So what was the thought process there and how you?
With his emails?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I gave a day or two in between. So I think I sent my first one on Tuesday, and then I waited a couple of days, sent the next one yesterday, sent the video out myself, and then sent the third one today, Friday. So.
And in the next session next week, we're going to teach you exactly what to do. You can mess this up with a bad subject line. So we even went down to the subject lines, and I told you don't use certain words because you'll get spammed, you'll get rejected and put in spam and trash folders. So what was with the headlines?
Yeah, so I wanted there were two main things. It's like I wanted to draw them in. I wanted to make them feel like they were getting something, and they were. And secondly, you don't want it to be spammy. You don't want it to be something where they immediately click, because I get all those emails all the time. Yeah. And even it'll boot you. It'll send you straight. There's filters. It'll send you straight to spam if you say something about money or percents and things like that.
Yeah. So next week we're gonna teach you how to do these emails for Eve's Cookies. I bought your stuff. What did you sell? You're selling note cards? Note cards? I bought your stuff. I have a buying problem with students here, so don't come near me. I bought your Cutco stuff. My wife was very happy. So that was a Christmas gift for her. Did I buy anybody else's stuff? Just checking. Okay. So Aaron, who's also a running buddy, you're now following his strategy. Come on up. Let's bring Aaron up too. Come on up, Aaron. We got a couple minutes. So Aaron, you're going to try this strategy too.
I've done it.
You've done it.
I've done
oh
it,
my
for
gosh. So what have you been experiencing?
Yeah, so I kind of learned from we grabbed breakfast. It was a few weeks ago or so, and he told me all about it. And then I set up all the emails like last weekend, and then since then I've gotten 200 emails or like people to like do the survey, which means they were filtered into my marketing email, and so I've sent out probably close to 600 to 700 emails to them, like doing follow-ups. So,
Wow.
Yeah, so
but you haven't dropped your code yet.
I have, but it's only a few have been sent out.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's give these guys a hand. All right. All right. Anything you want to tell the people lastly, like, can they do this too? Are you something special, or can they do this too?
Well, I just want to say my bachelor's degree is environmental science. And
Yeah.
so I graduated in May. And so I've been able to learn how to do all this stuff by just leaning in and learning from you. And it's something
Dr.
that,
Priggy,
and Dr.
Jim
Priggy, all sorts.
Stevenson,
And so
everybody.
it's something that you could really lean into and learn from. And so
Yeah.
anyone who's nervous about that, just say, get your feet wet,
Yeah.
try it out. And
Are you guys going to do a collaboration? Because you're in running hats and you're in running gloves.
I think that'd be really cool.
I think so. All right. Good job. Good job. Thank you. Okay. So, folks, that's kind of what CUE School is all about. It's about real results. And I would love to see some more stories. Next week, you're going to learn about how to do a funnel for any of your products. And then week 4, you're going to learn how to get your manifesto or a paper or something on Amazon. You all are going to walk away literally in 2 weeks, or maybe 3 because of a week off Thanksgiving. You can take a week off. But you're going to be a published author on Amazon. Is that cool? All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. We'll see you.